Welcome to our new home 1 year on. Welcome all to the start of this week's vlog. Now, it's going to be a little bit different. It's not really your typical style of vlog, but today marks mine and Kaylee's 1 year anniversary of moving into our wonderful house. And what better way to celebrate it than just basically having a sit down and chat video where we go through 4 different things that hopefully you guys will all enjoy. Now, kicking things off, I'm wanting to talk about the top 5 renovation ideas which we have done this year. So let's start things off at number 1. So number 1 on the list has to be painting our kitchen. This does include replacing the handles as well. Now you may remember originally when we first moved in, these were high gloss beige doors. Yeah, in here we have our kitchen area, integrated 50/50 fridge. And they weren't the best. They were fingerprint magnets and they're just very hard to maintain and clean. So we decided to rough them up a little bit with some sandpaper and paint over them using matte white French chic paint. Say since this has been done and we switched the handles, they look amazing. They're a lot easier to keep clean and they just make the whole room look that much brighter. So that's number 1 on the list. Now the second renovation has to be the painting of our conservatory. Now this is an ongoing project, so it isn't actually completely finished, but Kaylee has painted our conservatory, again matte white, but now it just looks like a modernised conservatory rather than the awful brown colour, similar to what you can see on the roof, because we haven't actually painted that yet and we don't know if we're going to, but it looks absolutely wonderful. This is a conservatory, quite a nice area. There's enough room to, I mean, people have said you couldn't get a chair or a sofa in here. There's enough room, well not outside, but like a chair or something just to lounge on sometime. And if we just take a trip outside, same is out here as well. It's probably more obvious on the outside because obviously we've got the sunshine on it, but it does look really, really nice. So in at number 2 is painting the conservatory. Now number 3 is quite a small one, however Kaylee and Hayley wallpapered the bedrooms, and that's probably our 3rd top renovation in the past year. In at number 4 is probably the replacement of all of our windows. Now similar to what I said about the conservatory, our windows were like a weird brown UPVC. They were very old. Some of them had kind of gaps in them and there was some kind of drafts going on. And we didn't really like it, so we got them all replaced with modern, white, brand new UPVC windows. And in at number 5, and the top spot, has to be the renovation of our decking. Now, last April, me, my dad and Dan decided it would be a great opportunity to create this decking. So using some bearers, some stone slabs, some decking boards, and then these decorative bricks which I've put around the side, we've got an absolutely amazing platform that creates space for our hot tub, our gardening, seating, and just summer memories. So that there was our top 5 renovations that we have done in the past year. Now what I'm going to move on to is our top 5 renovation ideas for the upcoming year. Let's go. So the first task that we want to do as a big renovation project probably won't be something that we get done next year, but I thought I'd put it on this list, and we want to renovate this section of the garage into a utility room. Now, it's quite a big task. It does mean obviously putting up insulation, plasterboard and everything, and it's very hard to picture what it's going to be like. But if I just pan back a little bit more, where the wall kind of changes here, we want to obviously put a wall going across with a door in, and we want to take the washing machine, obviously put it probably where the ladder is, and then put some storage around. We probably won't box in the boiler, just because of how kind of big and odd it is in that particular gap, but renovate it in a fully operational utility room for our washing machine and additional storage. Now, in at number 2, we're wanting to take this section of the garden, which is quite a big section, and what we're wanting to do is put paving stones down to kind of create this paved area, maybe for the hammock to go, maybe for the garden seating to go, but we're wanting to kind of take it from where the decking ends, and we want to kind of curl it round in like a crescent shaped circle, or a quarter of a circle even, and take it to that fence post just there, just to kind of create this squared off area, but again perfect for garden activities where you don't want to be on some grass, but you don't want to be on the decking either. And that is at number 4 on our list. Now, in at number 3 is a renovation project which we're probably wanting to do probably quicker than the rest, but it is we wanted to replace all of our kind of guttering. So that includes obviously the roof guttering right up there, got the conservatory guttering, the canopy guttering, but then also the garage guttering. Now, next on our list of renovations in the next year, we're wanting to replace all these god-awful white stones. One, because they get weeds, and I've spent absolutely ages over the past few weeks trying to remove said weeds by putting tarpaulin underneath them, but no matter what I do, weeds just keep on coming up. So we're wanting to get rid of all these stones, put down some kind of weed control malarkey equipment stuff, and replace them actually with plum slate. So that's the idea. It's also the same over here as well. And the last and final renovation for the next year is to get rid of this canopy. Well, not completely get rid of it, but just shrink it down so it doesn't cover the whole kind of front of the house. The reason being is it makes our living room very, very dark. And that is our top 5 renovations for the next year. So the next section of this video, I want to talk about some of the key bits of knowledge and experiences that me and Kaylee have kind of learnt in our first year of owning our house. And the first one is very obvious. It's expensive. I mean, owning a house, it's not just about the items that you need to kind of live off, like you've got your food, you've got your everyday items that you may need, hair, shampoo, cosmetics, body stuff, I don't know, all that type of stuff. You've got your monthly mortgage, you've got your TV license, you've got your bills, you've got even things that aren't house related. You've got like your car if you drive and stuff like that, and it all adds up, and it is very, very expensive. So owning a house is a little bit more expensive than me and Kaylee probably originally thought, but yeah, that's something that we've learned in this first year. Secondly, something that I kind of found out a little bit before owning a house, when we was comparing whether to purchase a house on a mortgage or rent a property, and that was kind of the freedom to do what you like. And obviously you've seen that we've literally renovated the house in obviously the past sections of this video quite a bit, from painting down to changing the windows, the doors, everything, but to put our own touch on it. Now, in a rented property, this doesn't always happen. Sometimes you've got rules, sometimes you've kind of got limitations on what you can do, but owning your house, one thing that we've learnt is that you're free to do whatever you want, which is one of the joys of having a mortgage. So that's the second thing on the list. And the third one is a little bit of a boring one in terms of what it stands for, but chores become the norm. So things like washing up, washing your clothes, putting things out kind of to dry, things that you'd probably do if you was living with your parents, things that you do as chores just become normal everyday life. And that's probably the final thing and final part of knowledge me and Kaylee have learnt in our first year of owning our house. Now, the final section of this video, I want to talk about the top 5 memories that me and Kaylee have shared or been a part of during our first year of being in our house. And in at number 1 has to be my surprise birthday party.
You know about that. Yeah. Gosh.
You know something, we're not known about putting that thing on the table. That's why we had to do it last night, because of today.
Ah, that makes sense.
Surprise! It was an absolutely incredible day. People that I care a lot about came round, and it was just nice because it was after COVID had happened, lockdown was lifted, and it was kind of the first time we could just all meet up, and it was just really nice. It was a surprise, and yeah, that was a great memory. Second on my list is probably the first time me and Kaylee actually used the hot tub in this house. It was Christmas Eve of 2020. We had the hot tub out for quite a while, but we hadn't used it because the water temperature was just too low, and we thought, before we actually have to put this away, why don't we just use it like once before we put it away. Obviously the water, it was full, it was kind of, the water had been sorted out in terms of like pH levels and stuff, but we just hadn't used it. So that night, Christmas Eve, we shared a little bottle of Prosecco, and we sat down in the hot tub in the darkness, kind of looking up at the stars, and it was just really, really nice. And that is at number 2 on my list. In at number 3 has to be the putting up of our Christmas decorations. Now, one of the greatest memories that I will never forget was putting up our Christmas tree. I purchased a tree from a company called We Are Christmas, and I purchased it thinking it'd be quite a nice tree. And when I opened it, the size, the kind of just the look of it was absolutely perfect. Like, it fitted ideally in our room. It was the perfect size, and although it was quite an expensive tree, it was worth it. And putting the baubles on it, all probably 1,000 baubles that we had, it was just amazing. And that is at number 3 on my list. In at number 4 has got to be the day I built mine and Kaylee's ottoman bed. Place I call home. We purchased a bed from Arista Living, probably first week of moving in. Sadly, it didn't actually arrive until a few weeks after the delivery day because of some issues with COVID and delivery drivers and everything. But when we actually got it, we was originally sleeping on our IKEA bed, IKEA Hauger it was, which is now in our spare room. One day, Kaylee was at work, and I decided I would build this gas lift hydraulic ottoman style bed. It took me 3 hours, but my gosh, it was the greatest thing I've ever built. It was a quest that I conquered, and it's still standing, which is a good thing. So at number 2 is the day I built mine and Kaylee's Arista Living bed. And in at the top spot, something that's kind of probably very obvious, is the day we moved in.
Welcome to our new home.
And yeah, I cannot just, I mean, you probably never will. The first day you ever move into your first house will probably be the greatest day. It's the day of freedom. It's the day of kind of you start the pathway of your life, being a homeowner. And it is probably one of the greatest feelings, one of the greatest experiences, and probably one of the biggest things that you'll take and learn a lot from the most. And yeah, that was the greatest moment of mine and Kaylee's first year of being in our wonderful, wonderful house. And there we go, guys. That is it. We have come to the end of this week's vlog. Now, I do hope that you have all enjoyed it. It has been a little bit different to what we usually do. Again, I will apologise about last week as there wasn't a vlog. We didn't really get up to a lot as such. And yeah, last thing to do, guys, I want to thank everyone that's been a part of mine and Kaylee's first year in our house, whether that is our neighbours, whether that is friends that have sent us gifts, whether that is YouTube admirers that have also sent us gifts, anything that has basically just boosted our first year of being in this house. Thank you very much. Again, thank you to all the viewers that also watch my videos, to all the subscribers that have held in for the past 10 years. And yeah, see you all next week for another fantastic vlog. And until then, guys, bye-de-bye.